All right. I don't know if that's a Lewis. Anyways, hello to all my RPG subscribers. It is another wonderful summer day out here in Michigan, and I'm gonna talk about one of the things that was so important to me growing up, and just every summer was the most fun and exciting time for me because it signified that it was time to go to camp. And not just any camp, but camp for meeting and hanging out with other blind slash VI kids. And honestly, just being able to go to those camps that I went to. There was two camps. One that was called Lions Camp. The other called Camp Tushmahita, or Camp T for short. I think anybody who ever went to Camp T just they know it as that. Camp Tushmahita is you know everybody just knew it as Camp T, and definitely different experiences at both camps. Though one of the things that was the same for me, and just having that time, because growing up where I here in Michigan, the area, it's like you don't really get to interact with a lot of other kids, other blind VI kids. So the summer camps, that was it. That was the thing. It was like, oh yes, it's camp. For these next, for this next month, I was gonna actually get to be around and actually get to hang out with other kids who are blind and do have the most fun ever. And also the other thing that was huge for me is the counselors. Other the counselors that were there, whether it wasn't just sighted counselors, there were also counselors who were blind as well. And that I think had one of the biggest impacts on me for what I would decide to do in my life. What the things that I would want for myself. You know, you're losing vision, and some of the things that I had maybe wanted to do with my life, or even was thinking about doing. You have to like completely change that because most of those things were reliant on vision, and it's like, okay, there's these other people, they're either in college or living on their own, and you get to talk and learn so much, uh, from the counselors, and it has such an impact on you. And it makes you realize that you are going to be able to have a life for yourself. That you're not just gonna have to live a certain way. Any way. That you can you know live what any way that you choose. That you can actually you know develop skills to live on your own, to go to college, hold a job, all the things that every other person does in their life. And I think it definitely made me less scared about what life had in store for me, myself, as a blind person. There definitely has been a lot of things, a lot of hardships, and everything that I've had to deal with growing up, and even trying to do with what I want in my life. But honestly, I think if I had not gone to those camps and met the counselors and got a chance to be a part of those camp groups and those days out at the camps, I don't think I would even remotely have the tenacity in me the way I do. Like, I know there are ways I can accomplish things. It's like even just with traveling. Being out at those campgrounds, you learn to navigate some pretty rough terrains. And the trails, and just being out in nature, places that you normally wouldn't walk through, in a regular, regular being in the city. It made me realize like I can pretty much walk wherever I want to get to if I know where I'm going. If I have an idea, if I can plot the trail, I can get to where I'm going. And like I said, just being around the other counselors who were much older than me, or whatever, they just it's so hard to just even have any words for what an impact they had on me. Uh, you know, as I'm trying in this video. So yeah, so like I said, just every summer that was it. It was 2 weeks at Lions Camp, 2 weeks Camp T, and oh my God, I think between the two, it was for me. I would say Camp T was even one of the things I look forward to the most. Just it was different. Each camp had offered something completely different. One was a little more. One we were in cabins, and then the other one was more like large tents, and it was a little bit more in the middle of nowhere. At least, it definitely felt that way. And just the different kind of hands-on and hands-off approach. Every camp had its own kind of. It felt like their own philosophy on blindness and how the kids and counselors, the rules for the kids and counselors on what they could do, what they couldn't do, and I felt that like Lions Camp was amazing, but I think Camp T was even better at times because there's times I don't know. I felt like you were promoted to be a little bit more independent there at Camp T for doing things, whether it was getting your meals, your food, things just in general everyday kind of certain tasks that you might get help with at Lions Camp. At the Lions Camp they had a lot of servers and people would bring you stuff a lot of times during the meals, and I mean that sort of changed too over the years, but I don't know. I still feel that Camp T was a little more ahead of the other one, and that's just in my opinion. And what being the fact that I went to both of them, I don't know, and also just the kinds of things that you could do. There was a lot more. I don't know. There was just so much more emphasis on doing exciting things, whether it was the overnight canoe trips, the camping out, being forced to also go and learn how to set up a full campsite on your own. Whereas at Lions Camp, they basically had the counselors doing all that kind of stuff. You never really had a very hands-on approach when we did the overnight camping site. It was kind of like, you went to a site and then they set up everything, and then the campers showed up there for the overnight camping. Whereas at Camp T, the campers had you went to an additional camp area that didn't have tents already set up, and you had to set up the tents, break them down, when the next day it was a little bit more. This is how you should do these things. This is, you're eventually one day you're going to be doing this for yourself, and that was even all of those things were so important to like. Okay, you can do these things. We know you can do these things on your own. We're going to show you the right way to do them, and so so in the future you can show other people and pass on that knowledge. Like I said, those camps had such a big impact. It's hard to find all the words just to say on what and how they affected me to become the person I have become really these days. And just my attitudes about blindness and what I can do and accomplish. I think those places, those camps, where really built those foundations for how I would live my life to this day. So there you have it, a bit about the camps and what you know, why I am the way I am. I don't think if I had been exposed to all the all the campers and counselors and things I got to do, and just it's just it's hard to come up with every word and all the feelings and emotions I have about going to those places, and how they affected the person I would become. All right, so come back for another video where it's maybe a little bit less emotional. Okay, I'm not sure. Better. It's gonna rain here. It's just the wind in my headphones here. All right, come back for another video next time.